After months of watching him get bigger and bigger in ultrasounds, their baby is now in their arms. This is the moment Mary Susan Williams held her newborn son for the first time, only she's not the one who gave birth. Perhaps this shot tells his story best. The woman on the left, a complete stranger, gave her body so Mary Susan could cradle her own son. As Autumn lies in bed, waiting for doctors to induce labor, she presents the biological parents with a few keepsakes.
Oh my goodness, this is perfect.
That's awesome. That's what he's wearing home.
Such a big miracle in such a small boy. A miracle 10 years in the making. While they remain tight-lipped on a name, Mary Susan and Brandon have shared nearly everything else about their decade-long fertility fight on their blog, writing about each step along the way. The journey started with miscarriages, eventually leading to Danielle Grace, their baby girl delivered stillborn. As they endured their most painful loss yet, this couple met Autumn and Donovan Anderson. Autumn, a mom herself, volunteered to carry the Williams child.
It's moving.
As he grew inside her and she felt his movements, she wondered if she'd have the strength to simply hand him over.
You know, I wondered the whole time. There were days that I thought, oh my goodness, did I think this through? You know, this is gonna be so hard. And I had a lot of people on my side praying about it.
There you go.
Those prayers were answered. The day they've all been waiting for. Baby Williams is on the way. Mary Susan is overcome with emotion as she watches the delivery of her son, while Brandon can't keep his eyes off his wife.
I watched her face and her reaction. You could just see it all over her face, and she was crying, but she was so excited and happy. I mean, it was just unbelievable.
After years of crying tears of sorrow, these are tears of extraordinary joy.
I was like, after 10 years, God has answered our prayer. And the way that he did it, and just, every emotion in the book.
Big push.
And with a final push,
Oh, there he is.
as the doctor hands this baby boy to Autumn, Mary Susan cuts the cord, and Autumn hands the child she carried to his mom. Mary Susan wept, cradling her son skin to skin. As Autumn heard her cries, every fear she faced was gone, and any physical pain she felt along the way, worth it.
I couldn't watch Mary Susan. I didn't get to see her reaction, but right after, when she sat on the bed and she just started to sob, I thought, okay, every day was worth it. Pregnancy's not easy, but just to see that relief in her that I finally have a child, you know, when she said this has been 10 years, what a redemption, and I thought, okay, thank you for that.
But this new mom and dad are the ones overwhelmed with gratitude.
I don't think there's words. I mean, there's no way to say thank you. There's no way to pay her back in any way.
I sat down and started to write her, and I thought, what do I say? I mean, thank you? That just doesn't even, scratch the surface of our feelings toward her and Donovan as well.
In the midst of the moment, the Williams did find one word to express their gratefulness, the baby's middle name.
Name.
Colin Anderson.
No, Colin Anderson.
In honor of you and Donovan, everything that you've done.
Colin Anderson Williams will grow up with a name reminding him of the love others have given to bring him to life.
And we will do our best to raise him as the Lord wants us to, and to become someone like Autumn who will give back to other people.
They have plenty of time to achieve that goal. For now, this mom and dad can't stop staring and smiling. Tonight, we're bringing you a special report on African Americans and swimming.
Yeah, the facts make it pretty clear that blacks typically do not swim and therefore are more likely to drown. In this special report, we went to find out why and what's being done about it. It looks like an everyday trip to the pool. Commonplace.
You ready?
unless you're African American.
Okay, go! Good job! I got you.
And the majority of African American kids have not had swim lessons.
You gotta use your arms in order to swim. I got you.
It's not a matter of opinion. The CDC says black children are 3 times more likely than whites to drown. USA Swimming reports that nearly 70% of black children can't swim. Sadly, the same is usually true for their parents.
A lot of times the parents don't know how to swim. And that fear, it's like a cycle.
It's obvious at the Kirk family YMCA pool in Roanoke, where there's a movement to interrupt that cycle. The swim instructors here at the Y know what to look for, and they tell me when kids come in from the suburban schools in Roanoke County, about 80% of the kids have some familiarity with water safety. But when it becomes the inner city kids, only about 20% have any idea what to do around the water, and that's what they're trying to fix.
I need Cameron, Joshua.
Here at the Y, the goal is to teach every second grader at all 17 elementary schools in Roanoke to swim. 3 city schools came last year, perhaps the ones that needed it the most. So Hurt Park, Lincoln Terrace, when you bring those groups in here, what do you see?
Well, the 3 inner city schools that we've had in the fall, about 80% of those children, second graders in the inner city schools, did not know how to swim.
The city has pledged to send even more schools next year. Have you ever jumped in the water over your head before?
No.
This was your first time?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It was fun.
Okay, go!
A good idea, because second grade seems the perfect time. The kids are big enough and not self-conscious.
We're gonna jump in, yeah, it's gonna help you float, right?
And unlike teenagers, they're willing to listen.
What do you do? How you hold it?
Like this?
Yes, you hold it just like that. Very good.
Close your mouth when you jump in, you don't drink water that way.
That way, a child doesn't become a teen who can't swim, who becomes an adult who can't swim.
Swim!
Not a problem for these kids.
The teacher said the children had the bathing suits on Monday and Tuesday, and their program didn't even start on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
YMCA instructor Keith Gaines broke the cycle when his parents took him to the Y as a child in Philadelphia.
I always remember the first time getting in the water, I said, this is me. I just knew that this was me.
There was no stopping him. He went on to swim for Howard University in the 70s. But when he looks around Roanoke, he sees few, if any, African-American men who swim like him.
All right, turn around.
Now he's on a mission to change that. He's not surprised that most inner city kids could not save themselves, even if they fell in right next to the wall. So those kids would have drowned.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But the Y program is getting those kids in the water and breaking down barriers for non-swimmers, black or white.
So we identify those people, and then we offer to their parents an opportunity to bring the kids back to have swimming lessons here at the Y at no charge.
The reasons blacks don't swim can be traced back to slavery and segregation. But recent studies show today that economics and access are not the problem. The issue now, says Gaines, is changing the culture of realizing that learning to swim is a life or death proposition.
African-American parents are very much interested in their children and care very much deeply about them. It's just changing that culture, because I've coached the AAU basketball, and we've got all the parents there. We've got all the parents there. So if we could just flip that script a little bit and say, hey, swimming is just as important for your child to learn how to play basketball, I think we can make a huge steps in swimming in the Valley.